Hey, this is Charles Draven, and I'm going to share my Wise.com review for affiliate marketers. And this is all about getting money to you, to your bank account, and getting paid without the hassle. What is this company all about? It used to be called TransferWise, and it's a very safe, legit company, and it's very huge. They serve over 16 million people to transfer billions of dollars internationally. So there are a lot of affiliate companies out there that use this because it allows them to pay people throughout the world very easily, and it's streamlined just going into this one system. And so as you can see here, they are licensed globally. There are safeguards within it. And so for me, when I see an affiliate company paying through Wise.com, I feel that my money is very safe. Again, I'm not guaranteeing you anything about their operations, but you can see here is that it holds roughly 60% of customers' funds in a secure liquid um, assets like government bonds and 40% as cash in major traditional banks. And it is not a traditional bank. It's used for money transfer. It does not typically have standard federal deposit insurance, FDIC in the US. So that's something that you want to be careful about. Strict compliance, just like any payment systems, you got to realize that due to compliance reviews, if there's some shady issues that they recognize within your account, then they could go ahead and temporarily freeze your account. And this is how a lot of companies that hold money are in the United States. Things that I've noticed, even though that this company is headquartered outside the United States, to me that's just legit practice. I know some people they've complained and have said that whether it's Wise or companies like PayPal that have done something to their money, and you just have to be very careful that you are not being perceived as some shady company. And so, as an ethical business owner, you have to think about what it takes to actually preserve any channels, pathways of retrieving your funds. So you have to take your business seriously. You got to do things in a way that doesn't flag your account. And to me, this is something that I've seen for decades people just complaining about this, not just Wise, but other companies. And they might say that they're not doing anything wrong, and that might be the truth. But you do have to think about the other side. And I know some people don't want to hear that, but just try to run your business in a very ethical way. So Wise used to be called TransferWise. It's based off of Clifton Street in London, in UK. And I'm telling you this because there are things from the US perspective that might seem kind of weird. And you'll realize that it's because they are headquartered in UK, and there are some time zone issues. I don't know if it's because I didn't fully set up my account, but I barely tweaked my account just to get money. And so I'll be talking about that soon. And all their information here for inquiries is listed. And another thing I want to talk about is that you do have to supply legit information. So here in the United States, I had to provide an ID, like let's say a passport or driver's license. You have to be able to show proof of address, identity confirmation, do a selfie. And then if you are running a business, like let's say through a separate entity, whether you are C or S Corp or LLC, you'll see that there are additional information that's needed. And you want to show that you do have this other information here, like lease agreement, business utility bill, bank statement, pretty much matching your business information. And as you can see here, when I say business, I've talked about different entities like C Corp, S Corp, LLC. If you are just a solopreneur and you are not registered as a separate entity, then this is information that doesn't pertain to you. You'll be running your business like through a personal account. And again, whatever I say in this video, it's subject to change, but your business information here, if you're not incorporated, if you don't have an LLC or anything like that, of course, you're not going to have that type of information. So you could see here additional information, shareholder registration, operating agreement or partnership deed, and then government photo for directors, owners, and account administrators. So for me, I actually have it set up as this, and it's just passing them the money through. And it really depends how your company is set up. So here, just want to mention that there are some companies I've worked with where they hold the money through an escrow account, and that is something where it's like a third party and there's specific terms. But in this case, it says that Wise does not act like an escrow company, and it's just being used as a money transfer service. It is not a neutral third party that holds funds conditionally. And it's just like sending a direct bank wire. And once the money leaves your account, it goes straight to your to the recipient with no way for Wise to refund it based on delivery conditions. Wise cannot hold money until a buyer inspects goods or service. That's why it is not an escrow company. And if it's against terms of service or there's some kind of scam warning, this is a Wise holding your money safety in an escrow until you ship the item or pay fee. You got to be careful about scam messages and all that. But just want to make sure that you don't think it's this specific kind of account, an escrow account. It's just a way to transfer money internationally. Okay, so earlier I showed you my funds, and it might be kind of confusing for some. You might think, okay, I have my funds in the system. I'm going to go ahead and request funds to make it go my way. But when you're putting requests, you're requesting money from others. Neither are you moving funds. In fact, I haven't tested that moving part. But what I do is I just send money to myself. And I send money to myself using my bank account information. And so the bank account information that I need here in the United States is my routing number and then my bank account number. And some people internationally, they might be using Swift. That's not what I personally use here in the United States. So here in the US, we are using an account number that tells Wise exactly what is the location of your bank. And then once it sends that money, it will know where to send it to within that bank through your account number. So one of the things I mentioned earlier, one of these like Google overviews, is that it's not an escrow company, and you have to be very careful because once the money leaves your account, it goes straight to the recipient with no way for Wise to refund it based on delivery conditions. So be extremely careful when you enter your bank information. It seems so simple, but do not expect them to easily refund your money if you sent it to the wrong person. So again, be very careful when you enter your bank number, your routing number, so that money gets routed to the correct bank. Again, enter that information, double check it, triple check it, whatever you need to do in order to make sure that you entered it properly. Same thing applies to your bank account number. And so once you put that information in, the name of the routing number is able to identify the bank, and then it's able to identify your account after you enter it correctly. All that stuff, again, has to be entered correctly. And then you're going to specify the amount of funds, and I believe it's going to even ask you currency. So I'm here in Northern California. I'm putting US dollars, and this is the amount of money I decided to transfer out. And it says that I'm paying to my account in USD. And as you can see here, the total fees is extremely small in my opinion, and it's $1.13 to transfer over $5,000. To me, it's cool for me. And so frequency once, it's just a one-way, one-time payment. And then this is a tricky part if you're here in the United States, because I think what happens is that the times that are specified on wise.com by default is based off of the time in London. That's my guess. I haven't really double checked. But what I noticed is that the date and time that I select in Wise is going to be different than the actual time it actually gets scheduled out in US time in my specific time zone, which is Pacific. So in Pacific time, what I'm going to do is schedule that on Tuesday if I want it to be here on Monday. So I believe that's the the big difference here is going to be kind of um, difference depending on different on your perspective where you're living. And so I'm just kind of giving information for people here in the United States. And then you're going to put some reference information where it's just going to be your own personal descriptor. And in this case, I'm getting money from a company called Master Affiliate Profits. It's commissions through an affiliate program. And then that's pretty much for my own personal accounting purposes. So that's all for this video, just giving you a quick rundown on wise.com and specifically for people that are interested. You might have gone through some company trying to get affiliate commissions. In my case, it's Master Affiliate Profits. And that's how pretty much I get money from MAP, Master Affiliate Profits, to my bank account. So um, if you are interested in learning all about building your business, especially using the power of artificial intelligence, check out my YouTube channel here, of course, and then also my website, empireof1.co, and you'll learn a lot about building a business, especially as a solopreneur. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching.